From the newsroom at news.com.au.
Hi, I'm Lexi Cartwright.
And I'm Andrew Bucklow.
And this is the latest from the newsroom. It's Thursday, the 8th of October.
We'll start in the US, where Donald Trump has declared his coronavirus infection was a blessing from God. The president, who has now returned to the Oval Office less than a week after he tested positive, posted a very odd video outside the White House where he said he feels fantastic after taking an experimental antibody cocktail of drugs from pharma company Regeneron. Have a listen.
I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing in disguise. I caught it. I heard about this drug. I said, let me take it. It was my suggestion. I said, let me take it. And it was incredible the way it worked. Incredible. I want to get for you what I got, and I'm going to make it free. You're not going to pay for it. It wasn't your fault that this happened. It was China's fault. And China's going to pay a big price.
Staying in the US, and Kamala Harris and Mike Pence exchange blows during their first vice presidential debate ahead of the November election. Pence and Harris were seated 3.5 metres apart and had plexiglass barriers between them as a result of Pence's proximity to Donald Trump and other White House staff who've recently tested positive for COVID-19. It wasn't quite as fiery as Trump and Biden's debate, but there were some heated exchanges.
$100,000
He said he's
a
going
year.
to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
You will lose protections if you have pre-existing conditions, and this is very important, Susan.
Yes,
and it's
but
important.
we need to give Vice President.
I'd just like to, he interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish. Please. This is important.
Susan,
I want to add, but
here.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking.
in.
Back home now, and Prime Minister Scott Morrison has fired back at critics of his controversial new English language requirement for partner visa applicants. The government introduced the move in Tuesday's federal budget, saying partner visa applicants and their permanent resident sponsors would have to take a test to prove they have a functional level of English to live in Australia permanently.
Here's what Mr. Morrison had to say on 2GB.
I used to be an immigration minister, and English is Australia's first language. And for people to get into jobs, for people to be able to be protected in our society, for people to be able to access government services and function in the community, having a basic level of English is actually really important.
To entertainment now, and it's been more than 25 years since the last Sister Act movie, but a third instalment could be in the works. Lexi, tell me more.
Whoopi Goldberg was a guest on James Corden's talk show, and when the host asked why there hasn't been a third film yet, here is what Whoopi had to say.
For a long time, they kept saying no one wanted to see it. And then quite recently, it turns out that may not be true. People might want to see it. So we're working diligently to try to figure out how to get the gang together.
Oh, can't wait for that. To sport now, and Aussie cricket legend Dean Jones has been farewelled in an intimate and emotional service at the MCG today. There were only 10 close family and friends at the memorial, including Jones's wife Jane and their 2 daughters, Phoebe and Isabella.
Yeah, Jane, who was married to the cricketer for 34 years, shared a heartbreaking message on social media, simply writing, "Until we meet again." Jones died last month in India from a heart attack.
Well, that's it from the newsroom. We'll be back with another update in the morning.
Your headlines from news.com.au.